What's going on, everyone? By now, I'm sure all of you are aware that the Scream 5 official trailer is up. I even have it here on this channel if you have yet to see it, and I have a full breakdown, play-by-play of the actual trailer itself. I'll link them both down in the description below. But in that trailer is this scene here, or this little clip image, and I felt it was extremely significant and warranted a video, because I believe this pertains to Dewey. Before we jump into it, be sure to like this video. Helps me out a lot, lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification so you never miss an upload. Stay up to date with all things Scream, join this wonderful community, and all of our discussions. So, when it comes to Dewey Riley, many people, since the beginning, myself included, have speculated that Dewey is going to meet his end in this film. And though it seems like he has a sort of significant, prominent role in this film based on even just the trailer, we don't know how long that is. That could be 30 minutes into the film, that could be an hour into the film, and eventually at some point he meets his end. Clearly everyone has returned to Woodsboro by this point, the killings have ramped up, so if I had to guess, I would place this, significantly into the film, at least 30, 40 minutes or so into the film. But the reason I believe that this is Dewey's confirmation of death is Gale's reaction. Because think about Gale. How many people in the world would she, one, care enough about to have this type of reaction to where she just completely loses it and has to be held back, other than Dewey? I mean, Dewey's really the only one she's ever, that we are aware of, has really ever significantly cared about, other than herself, you could really argue. I mean, she has been dedicated and caring and loved Dewey from pretty much the jump. And their relationship and connection, whatever that case may be in this film, she absolutely loves him and cares for him, and vice versa. So there's only so many people that she would lose it over. And I think Dewey is that person. And tons of speculation again. There's been rumors since the jump that Dewey or one of the OG3 would die. Dewey is the most expendable of them all, so it makes a ton of sense that he would kind of be the one to bite the bullet and be killed off. Now, who's to say if any others do, but I think at least one does. I've said that from the beginning. I've made countless videos on Dewey, on Gale, on Sidney, and we've all had discussions and conversations about it, and the consensus seems to be that Dewey is the most likely to go. We've seen him be attacked on several occasions, so it makes sense that Dewey would be the one to die, because we're kind of used to it. We've kind of expected it. We've kind of known this would happen. And sort of the line where Dewey's like, this one just feels different. To me, that kind of indicates, like it is different. That, Dewey being attacked this time would be it. Because, I mean, in reality, how many times could he be brutally attacked and still survive? He's already done it twice. We see the scene where Dewey's, got the gun, he's loading it back up, drops the bullets, heading towards Ghostface and what it looks like the hospital. So there's definitely going to be some encounters with Dewey and Ghostface, and it would make sense that Dewey gets ambushed or trapped or something along those lines, but ultimately meets his end. And even the setup of this scene, outside of Gale's reaction and being held back, I mean, you got a cop looking like he's holding people back. You got all these vans here. It looks like the scene of somebody's death, and especially if it's a significant death, it makes sense why there'd be news vans, if those are news vans, or just regular vans, whatever they may be. I mean, obviously you can't really tell too much by this image, but regardless, it makes sense that this would be the case. To me, I believe that this is the confirmation that we've been looking for on whether Dewey or anyone else will live or die. And it is a significant. But here's the other thing too, is that when it comes to, if this is Dewey's death, let's say this is confirmation and he does die, that means Sidney and Gale are already in Woodsboro, and they're already out and about. So it isn't the lure to get Sidney like many of us thought, myself included. I thought there has to be a significant reason Sidney would return. I just don't see her returning just for the sake of returning, even if it is a different Ghostface or even if it is a different killer. I mean, even when she talks to Dewey in the trailer, Dewey doesn't say like, hey, I need you to come back or anything like that. He's just like, hey, you got a gun? And she's like, yeah, I'm Sidney Prescott. Of course I have a gun. So that makes a ton of sense that you know, she would stay there with her gun and you know, be her normal self. But clearly she returns for whatever reason. Maybe there is another way of significance. We'll see as the film unfolds itself. But I was always under the impression or thought process of Dewey's death would be the sort of catalyst to draw Sidney to return, because what else would be big enough to cause her to return? You know, without, like, what would be the reasoning to risk her life again and go through this again, unless there's something significant? So that kind of piques my interest, and it makes me even more excited for this film, because I look at it as like, okay, that means there's something else significant enough for Sidney to actually return and want to return to Woodsboro to make this happen. And overall, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see the impact that this takes place, and it makes sense why Gale and Sidney would team up, because you see there's scenes where they're teaming up and they're, you know, doing whatever they're doing, investigating, trying to solve this crime, trying to do whatever. It would make sense that Dewey would be the sort of catalyst to draw them together, to have them carry on and continue and basically like try to avenge him. You know, hey, like, we just lost Dewey. It's our one connection. Because Gale and Sidney's relationship has always kind of been, you know, rocky. I mean, obviously we've seen this incredible transition and this incredible growth and development in both their characters, but also the relationship period. But Dewey was always that tie, because Sidney, big brother Dewey, and Gale being the significant other to Dewey all these years, that was always their connection. That it was more of like we're bonded by this event, rather than we're best friends. Like, let's, you know, go shopping and stuff. Like, no, it was more of like, we went through this together, so we always have that bond, we always have that connection. You know, our relationship's a little weird, but we have love for each other. We care for each other. So it'd be nice to kind of get to finally see that dynamic of Gale, of Sidney, sort of working together towards this common goal. And it's unfortunate that Dewey would have to be the sort of sacrifice for that to happen. But I've said it from the beginning. I mean, even like when Scream was originally announced, when I first started doing Scream videos, that it made sense that one of the OG3 at least would die. And Dewey, unfortunately, is the most likely candidate to bite the bullet, because we've already seen it happen on several occasions. He just being Dewey and being the sheriff, whether he's still the sheriff or not in this film, just him being involved in this film, it's you know he's gonna run into the danger. It's not somebody that's like, you know, a recluse hiding in their home. It's somebody that he wants to go and take out Ghostface. He's going to jump into the line of fire. He's going to do what is necessary to get this done. So it's a believable, and even in that sense. But overall, I you know, of course, I would love for all three to survive and carry on forever. But in reality, this, like I've said, this is a horror franchise. Eventually, you got to sort of move in a different direction. Not saying you have to kill all of them off. I personally don't think Sidney will be killed in this film. Gale, I still think, is 50-50 at some point in this film. But I've said from the beginning that I really think Dewey would be the one to bite it. He is the most realistic and the most non-upsetting character to be killed off of the OG3. I feel like many people, one, expect it. Two, I don't think would be that upset to where it would sort of ruin the film one way or another for them. I think it's just enough to where, yeah, it's impactful, it's emotional, it's heartbreaking, we're all gonna feel it, but it's not going to be like, oh, well, you know, it's Sidney dying. We just saw our beloved girl, our beloved final girl on camera just be killed. That's a little different than Dewey, which, again, we've seen pretty much every Scream film just take a beating. So we've kind of become numb to it, if that makes sense. But overall, this is just kind of my opinion, as always. This doesn't confirm or deny anything. I just think, like I said, how many situations would cause Gale to react this way? It's just, there's not very many. But as always, this is a discussion. I want to hear from you. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think this is confirmation that Dewey meets his end? Because, again, like I said, it makes a lot of sense. how many times can the same three people survive this attack before Ghostface gets lucky or just catches one of them off guard? So it makes sense that this would kind of be the end for at least one of them. I still think this is probably the last film for all three. That doesn't mean all three die, but I think this is probably going to be it, and then we'll transition to the new characters. But again, let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, again, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, follow by the bell notification, stay up to date with all things Scream, join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.